If you have a vertical milling area on your CNC, then you're probably already starting to explore all the variations of joints and all the possibilities of joinery. If you have square stock, it's actually pretty simple just to clamp this on here, use a fence, clamp it, and start milling. In many situations in furniture, you actually are starting with round or strangely shaped, organically shaped objects. How are you going to clamp them to your vertical table? That's what we're going to explore today. And of course, the answer to this question is you're going to have to create some sort of holding jig. And the good news is that the CNC already is the perfect jig making factory. This is one of those wonderful moments in woodworking where the tool that you've invested in actually helps you make more tools to do more types of work. It's wonderful. It's like having a lathe and turning your own lathe handles. CNC is fantastic at making all kinds of jigs, making stuff like this very repeatable. I'm going to show you a couple of examples, and hopefully that'll give you ideas on how you can solve certain work holding problems. So what I wanted to do is take a chair leg like this. I want to cut it at a 12-degree angle and then rejoin it so I have something like this. This is going to sit like this. It's going to have a lean back. If I just rejoin it and glue it with a miter, it is really weak. So I had to figure out a way to clamp this and reinforce this using the CNC. And then I had to clamp it at another angle and cut an angled mortise. So here's an example of one of the jigs that I made in Illustrator. Again, it's just all flat pieces that come together to clamp. So it's got bolt holes for 1/4-20 bolts that end up becoming the clamp. I worked out where the T-tracks are on my vertical table. And I've got corresponding mounting points. I've got these long channels in case I have to do any shimmying or angling. So again, it's all flat stuff that comes together like a puzzle to make your jig. The first thing I'm going to do is cut the inserts to reinforce the 12-degree miter. I set up a file that cuts a 1-inch deep pocket. What's left over afterwards is the butterfly shape that I'll use as a reinforcement peg. A router bit supplier named ZahyoX was kind enough to send me some router bits to test for this project. Here I'm using a 1/4-inch compression bit. These bits are really sharp and really nice. I'm cutting the plugs so they orient long grain to long grain to maximize strength. After the cut, I separate them on the bandsaw. Here's where I want the plug to go. Next, I'll mount the jig that I showed you previously to the vertical area of the CNC. This jig has 2 clamps at 12 degrees, which hold the leg firmly and allows the router access to the center of the joint. I center the router bit and begin the cut. The shape is the exact reverse of the previous pocket for the plug that I cut. I actually did 2 passes here to slightly enlarge the hole, as the first pass was just a bit tight. Again, this is very easy on the CNC because you have extremely fine control over sizing. After that, I removed the jig. Back at the workbench, I can glue in the insert. I keep the miter joint clamped in the jig for 2 reasons. One, it avoids any chance of the joint breaking before reinforcement, and 2, it's a little easier to manage the awkward shape of the leg. After the glue dries, I can remove the leg and trim the excess and sand. This is an extremely strong joint now. Next, I'm going to clamp everything I just did into another jig. This jig will hold the leg for cutting the angled mortise. Like I said before, I used the CNC to cut out the base shapes with a feature that would allow the jig to arc in any angle I wanted the mortise to be. For this operation, I'm using a downcut bit from ZahyoX. The downcut bit will maintain a very clean cut at the top of the mortise. Since this is the part that shows on the outside, I want it to be as clean as possible. After the cut, I remove the leg and test the fit with the dummy tenon I cut earlier. Perfect fit. Actually, one of the important parts for me is that these are not just single mission jigs. I can use them for, I hate having too many jigs. So I really think about how I could use the least amount of jigs for the most variety of purposes. That gives me a good feeling to know that it will be a workhorse jig in the future. So just a quick final note before you go off and start making crazy jigs to do all your crazy work holding. I'm an affiliate of CNC Labs. I use the LongMill MK3 currently. I'm going to include a link in the description. If you want to purchase anything from CNC Labs, please use my affiliate link, and a little bit goes to this channel, and just the little bits of money that come in will help me further my research and hopefully share it with you, and hopefully it's helpful. I just put this stuff out there and just hope that it improves your practices. I really do want to see people expand their use of the CNC, of these hobby style CNCs. I think they're fantastic tools, and they're really limitless as far as what you can do with them. And I really want to see what everybody does. So that's it. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already, and have a great day.